From predictions of war and battle and the consequences of those, all the way to alien invasions and volcanic eruptions, here is part 2 of the top 10 ancient prophecies that might come true in 2022. Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have battle. This is a prediction made by Nostradamus that is said to occur in the spring. Basically, Nostradamus wrote, quote, "Blue head shall white head harm in such degree, as France's good to both shall ear amount." I have absolutely no idea what those words in that order mean, but thankfully there are people who think that they do. People believe that this prediction is meant to mean that war will be reaching Europe in the spring of this year. That's a grim start to this list. It's not exactly clear what this means. Is this where he's predicting the start of World War III will be? More on that later, by the way. Or is this a prediction of some entirely separate war? Maybe it's not war at all and potentially some other kind of battle. All I know is that a prediction that vague has got to leave us with at least a few questions. I guess by spring we'll have answers as to what he meant, or perhaps we'll realize it just wasn't destined to be true. In our number 9 spot today, we have the alien invasion. Okay, this is probably one of the least likely things on this list to occur, but that doesn't mean it won't. I mean, I'm certainly no seer or clairvoyant, so who am I to say for sure? Baba Vanga has predicted that sometime soon there will be some sort of alien contact, but it's not the kind that I'm hoping for. I truly believe that if aliens exist, they're probably peaceful. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but I just think that that's true. This Baba Vanga prediction, however, completely suggests the opposite. She says that an asteroid will be sent by aliens to attack planet Earth. Okay, no thank you. That would be horrible. It would be so scary. They'd have technology we'd have never even seen before. My dreams of peaceful aliens would be crushed. We'd be at war with another planet. I just don't see any good in that. This is one prediction I am definitely hoping does not come true. In our number 8 spot today, we have inflation. This Nostradamus prediction is said to be about inflation. He wrote, quote, "No abbots, monks, no novices to learn. Honey shall cost far more than candle wax. So high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair." Well, that certainly doesn't sound good. We can all take our pick of reasons as to why this prediction is potentially likely to come true. It is really that ending line that has me a little unnerved though. Is Nostradamus telling us to eat the rich? Or is he just telling us how bad things just might become? Many believe that this prediction is his way of explaining that inflation and increase in starvation may just lead to some sort of a rebellion. I mean, that isn't the most far off prediction I've ever heard, and if things do unfortunately go that way, I could definitely see something similar coming true, but maybe I'm just easily persuaded. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Dictator. This Nostradamus prediction is an interesting one for sure. According to those who interpret his prophecies, he is said to have predicted that in 2022, we will see the death of a dictator. Of course, he didn't predict exactly who this would be. If he did, that would be pretty insane. If he predicted who would be a dictator in 2022, I would be thoroughly impressed already. But since he didn't, of course, people want to speculate who this prediction could be about. I always find it so interesting to hear these kinds of predictions because I always wish I could know exactly what it is that leads them to it. This isn't like an outlandish prediction if it were to come true, but it would just be strange how they could accurately predict it so long ago. I don't know, I'm getting lost in the sauce here. Let's move on. In our number 6 spot today, we have World War III. This is a prediction that has been made many a time throughout the years, and it's one I think we can all agree on wishing it doesn't come true because the results would likely be catastrophic. It isn't quite clear what is said to cause the beginning or mark the beginning of World War III, but that is likely because, like I mentioned, it's been predicted tons and tons of times before. It is possible that maybe one of the predictions from part 1 could be the trigger, like the predicted climate war or perhaps the increase in world hunger we talked about. Either way, it's definitely a real possibility, although I'd like to call it unlikely. I think many people understand what exactly that would mean, and I don't think anyone is eager to jump into anything like that anytime soon, which I am very thankful for, that's for sure. In our number 5 spot today, we have immigration. This one kind of goes hand in hand with the last one, and it makes a lot of sense, especially if the prior prediction were to come true. Baba Vanga has predicted that because of an increase in war, especially a world war, that there will be more immigration as a result. It isn't quite clear exactly who is immigrating to where. The prediction is more so that just more of it is likely to go on. I wonder if this means that perhaps there will be an influx before the true beginning of the war, or if this is a more dire, scary sort of a situation. Either way, it's a scary thought. On the flip side of this prediction, there are people every year who have to leave their homes in search of a safer life somewhere else, and it's definitely a grim prediction to think about those numbers only getting higher. The good news though is that this is one prediction that is entirely dependent on other predictions coming true, and who do we know that has a 100% 100% prediction rate, right? I'm no stats professor, but I just feel like the odds are good. In our number 4 spot today, we have Asteroids. This is a prediction that came from trusty old Nostradamus, but if we're being honest, it's a prediction that pops up every year by someone, and it is the idea that this year is going to be the one where an asteroid impacts Earth. Nostradamus' words were, quote, "Fire do I see that from the sky shall fall." I'm not exactly sure if he means like a small meteor shower kind of thing, or if he's talking mass extinction, it's the apocalypse kind of thing, but either way, it's a little unnerving. Last year in 2021, we had a quote near miss with asteroid 2021 GW4, but it wasn't thought to be a huge deal either way because it is likely that it would have broken up in our atmosphere. Right now, it is said that the next near miss prediction is for around 2029, and that's from scientists. So at this point, I feel like we're probably safe, but who's to say for sure? Stranger things have happened, and space is a pretty terrifying place, so I wouldn't exactly be shocked. Maybe it's not an asteroid at all, though. Maybe it's something to do with all the debris in our orbit. Or maybe it's all those satellites Elon Musk is putting into the sky. Or maybe it's nothing. Who knows? I guess only time will tell. In our number 3 spot today, we have the AI takeover. This is a prediction that comes from Nostradamus and is actually about our ever-increasing technological world. Technology in our world evolves rapidly, and it's tough to make predictions about what next year holds, but this prediction from Nostradamus reads, quote, "The moon in the full of night over the high mountain, the new sage with a lone brain sees it, by his disciples invited to be immortal, eyes to the south, hands in bosoms, bodies in the fire." Many people believe that this prediction made by Nostradamus is said to be about, quote, immortal disciples and the potentially negative consequences, which people are taking to mean artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere now, from smart speakers, text prediction, facial recognition, self-driving cars. It's not just that insanely human-looking robot with realistic facial expressions, although that does exist too. People for years have been predicting something negative coming in terms of all of this new AI technology, but perhaps the first to do it was Nostradamus himself. In our number 2 spot today, we have the explosion. This Nostradamus prediction is one that could certainly become a reality at any point, which is something that is pretty terrifying. In this day and age, the threat of nuclear attack, while not an imminent threat, is always kind of there, hanging out in the back of people's minds. It's not something most people think about every day, but it's just something that we know people possess the technology and the ability to do. You know, that's why this Nostradamus prediction is just a little eerie, as he claims a nuclear bomb will explode in 2022, and if this wasn't bad enough, it has some harsh implications. He is said to have predicted that this explosion will lead to changes in not only the climate, but also the Earth's position. I'm not exactly certain what he means by the Earth's position, but what I do know is that sounds terrible and terrifying. In our number 1 spot today, we have volcanoes. This is one prophecy that I think we already may be seeing come true. Baba Vanga predicted that this year we would see significant seismic and volcanic activity. Well, as of filming this video, the Tonga volcanic eruption just happened a few days ago, so it's looking like this prediction just might be an accurate one. Not only are the residents of Tonga working so hard to recover from the catastrophic effects the eruption had, but this eruption was the largest in the world in 3 decades. There was a giant shockwave that this eruption produced, but the tsunamis that followed were quite unusual. Not only were they detected in the Pacific, but they were also detected in the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Mediterranean, which is something that scientists will be studying for years to come. It is obvious that this isn't something that happens very often, so it's very interesting to see how the rest of the year will go and play out. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!